DIRCO Minister Ronald Lamola is meeting British Foreign Secretary David Lammy. SABC News reporter Bulelani Phillip joins us now for more on this. Good afternoon, Bulelani. Just talk us through exactly what this engagement is all about.
Well, good afternoon to you, Mfundo, and to the viewers at home. It seems that this week is a week where South Africa and the United Kingdom are trying to strengthen their ties, both culturally, people-to-people's relationships, but more importantly here today on trade and investment. Of course, we've seen that the Prince of Wales, Prince William, has also been also engaging a lot of forums in the work that it does in terms of climate change action as well as sustainability. Of course, the big one that is here for in the country on his 4th-day visit is the Earthshot Prize Awards that will be held here in Cape Town tomorrow evening. Of course, the Foreign Secretary of the United Kingdom, David Lammy, was also here today meeting Minister of International Relations and Cooperations, Ronald Lamola, on this UK-South Africa bilateral forum. Of course, shortly after their bilaterals, they signed what is called a joint communique, which is a commitment on both sides of the coin, as well as both these countries, that they commit themselves to trade and investment, as well as in various sectors. Now, joining me is Mike Foster, who is the Economic Counselor at the British High Commission, who will take us through what this joint communique means. Firstly, what is a joint communique, just for the benefit of our viewers?
Thanks, Bulelani. So basically, the joint communique that comes at the end of the bilateral forum is the detailed agreement of everything that the UK and South Africa have talked about, have agreed today to strengthen cooperation across a whole range of areas, including climate change, health, science and technology, but in particular, as you say, economic growth, which both the British Foreign Secretary and Minister Lamola were really clear is absolutely core to the missions of both those two new governments.
What can we expect in these agreements that relate to trade and investment on both sides?
Sure. So the two ministers in particular agreed that the two countries will put together and launch a UK-South Africa growth plan that's going to set out how we'll collaborate to increase trade, increase investment, and ultimately create more jobs for both Brits and South Africans. That's something that's going to be launched when the Prime Minister meets President Ramaphosa at the G20 summit in Rio. And that's going to include, in particular, some specific initiatives that David Lammy announced today. That's going to include, for example, a new initiative around expanding access to trade finance so that small, medium and large companies across Africa and Asia can reach more international markets. It's going to include a new UK trade partnership program in South Africa to help companies here that could be exporting or could be exporting more expand their sales to the UK, to other markets, and ultimately increase the jobs they provide here. And thirdly and finally, it's going to include particularly a new UK-funded partnership around increasing investment in inclusive agriculture. And that's going to make sure that those agricultural exports create as many jobs as possible in rural South Africa where they're particularly needed.
Are we able to quantify the extent of trade that you are looking at as part of this agreement?
Yeah, absolutely. So UK South Africa trade in an average year right now is around about £10 billion a year, so about 250 billion rands. And that supports a huge number of jobs. We think over 130,000 South Africans have jobs supported by UK South Africa trade, but we think that could be much, much more. And that's why the two foreign ministers have agreed to try and boost that number, boost the amount of trade and investment, and ultimately create more jobs in South Africa. We think just in the agriculture sector, we could create thousands more jobs just through this one program.
Just lastly, before I let you go, I just want to put you on the spot. The issues on both sides of the countries around the issues of geopolitics. We've got the situation in Russia, we've got the situation in Israel. Does that hamper how the two countries work?
I mean, I think the important thing here is that the UK and South Africa are two countries that are bound together by commitments on democracy, human rights, rule of law. Yes, there were some obviously conversations about a wide number of geopolitical issues at play, but these are open conversations between friends.
All right, thank you so much, Mike Foster, Economic Counselor at the British High Commission, giving us a sense of what it means for us to be signing this bilateral forum agreement with the United Kingdom. On that note, Mfundo, it's back to you in studio.
Bulelani, it sounds like very economically progressive agreements that will be signed, and quite important to hear that whatever issues are issues among friends, as we've just heard there. That's SABC News reporter Bulelani Phillips.